know why. I've been quiet for so long.
Everyone, and welcome back to this edition of MBC News, aka the mostly basic commentary news, which is not to be confused with the very infamous Mixon Broadcast Committee. I'm Nathaniel Lake.
And I'm Lane Walter.
As the month of March 1979 comes to an end, a number of people have noticed and been afraid of the 3 Mile Island.
Right, Nathaniel. As the catastrophe circulates the news, a surge of fear and anguish has justifiably been pointed against nuclear power plants.
Joe Schmo has a catastrophe.
Thank you, Nathaniel. Here's an interview of a worker that was present during the horrendous incident.
Yeah, man. Well, the stuff wasn't actually that bad, though. It really came from three things. Some human errors of not actually problem-solving the situation, but also the system told us everything was fine, but it sadly was not. And a design error that caused the valve to stick open also had an effect, but also depressurizing the system and causing the whole thing to occur.
The Regulatory Commission, or NRC, and several other health organizations found an average exposure of 1 millirem above the normal dosage between the 2 million nearby citizens. But each year, these people receive 100 to 125 millirems of radiation, so the exposure from the event was inconsequential compared to the normal circumstances.
Thank you, Joe Schmo, but although your information sounds accurate, the outcry seems necessary. I still believe that nuclear power plants should be frowned upon.
Anyway, because of the 3 Mile Island incident, the NRC has increased its influence among these companies and regulated extreme safety measures. So this stuff should not happen again.
What you're saying about me is absolutely absurd. You're all against me. What was it? Somebody just got shot in Washington, D.C. Yeah, I know you're not in the office, but we gotta get on this case quick. I think it was the president. And make sure it's super emotional and grasping and intense. But why? Oh, just because.
Hi, I'm Lane from NBC Squad. President Ronald Reagan was just recently shot by a man named John Hinckley Jr. Hinckley's erotomania for Jodie Foster compelled him to try and assassinate Reagan. This didn't work. Unfortunately, the event showed how easy it was to try and get close to the president. In response, the Secret Service stepped up their defense tactics. But also, the event bolstered Reagan's ratings to about 73%, which comes to show that even in a negative situation, you can always find a positive outcome.
Hey guys, welcome back to How Many Things You Can Do as a President. Today, we review a president, such as Ronald Reagan, and their biggest accomplishments and failures. In Reagan's first term, the president heroically survived an assassination attempt and used it to upraise his likeness with the public.
Now, in Reagan's second term, it's scandal time. Reagan was fond of a group called the Contras, who were fighting against the Cuban-backed Sandinistas in Nicaragua.
But because the Contras were funded by cocaine trades, Congress passed the Bolin Amendment, preventing funds from reaching Nicaragua and spiting Reagan. In turn, Reagan called his national security advisor, Robert McFarlane, to help.
McFarlane was dealing with the U.S. hostages in Iran at the time and signed $30 million of military equipment in exchange for them. But in reality, only $12 million of that sum was used for weapons, while the rest were secretly sent to aid the Contras.
This scandal was kept under the dark during Reagan's campaign, but now, after his presidency, there was a trial. Reagan himself was found not guilty, while the officers he employed, including Robert McFarlane, were prosecuted.
Next, our beloved Reagan decided he would
tear down this wall.
This was the first time East and West Berlin completely interact since 1961.
Because of this progressive push, Reagan began the opening of the Iron Curtain, which can be connected to the Cold War's end.
Sick, right? And the Allies saw this as a massive victory for themselves in the future of democracy.
And that's it on how many things you can do as a president. If you want to share us your favorite and lowest moments of your favorite presidents, make sure you send that information to how many things you can do as a president at gmail.com. I'm Lane Walter.
And I'm Nathaniel Lape. See you guys next time.
Hey Nathaniel, don't you love it when the world is not in an ideological death brawl?
Oh, of course.
Then you'll love the end of the Cold War.
Ah, yes. The time when the Warsaw Pact dissolved, freeing many European countries forcibly under the treaty. They could then seek help from countries like the U.S.
Right, and this all started at the Malta Summit, where America and the Soviet Union worked together for the reunification of Germany. This reunion of peace was truly seen when both world powers freed Kuwait from Iraq.
And several other side conflicts and wars in third world countries ended from the Cold War's conclusions.
Welcome, mostly basic commentary country. When Gregory Herrick, an associate research psychologist at University of California, Berkeley, testified before the House Armed Services Committee about the ability for lesbians and gay men to work with heterosexuals, he helped push for the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy that was later instituted by the Clinton administration. So we're here at Kids in the Hall to finally do some asking.
Excuse me, do you mind me asking you a question?
Hello, Fencer. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Actually, I do. Because under the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, you don't ask me questions about my sexual orientation or business, and I don't tell you nothing. I get to remain in the military because people like my likeness are indifferent to the capabilities of others like you.
Unfortunately, we did not get to some asking. But higher-ranking military individuals believe homosexuals are incapable of maintaining discipline in the military. But I guess what that kid said about being equals made sense.
Are you tired of investing in the same old boring stocks every single day? If that's the case, come on down to the .com market. Open while stocks aren't hitting zero. The .com market is filled with many new online jobs and companies to have your pockets looking fly every single day. From the telecommunication markets, the biggest and fastest rise in it just rise in business history. From its expansion of 3G data usage to massive excitement in advanced technologies, the .com market has stocks for every investor. Come on down to the .com market for your entrepreneurial needs. The .com market, your one-stop stock shop.
Disclaimer, this influx of investors in the .com market may be responsible for the creation of a bubble that will eventually pop from several political and social events that led people to lose optimism in their investments and pull out. This bubble may also be responsible for destroying many small or medium-sized online businesses, leaving big companies like Amazon and eBay to thrive in a mostly uncompetitive genre of the market for a time being, allowing them to grow into powerful marionettes of the economy, political spectrum, and even individuals like yourself. Be advised, this advertisement is not subject to any downsides attached to .com bubble it created.
Before we get into our last segment, I just want to thank you all. It's been such a fun ride together.
But as the new century approaches, we will be taking a look at how everyday citizens like yourselves are coping during these times. Because many maintenance checks for power plants, airlines, the bank's calculated interest rates, all run on proper time. People believe the clocks around the world not properly turning to 2000 would be catastrophic.
Here we have a home video in real time of the family's year 2K experience.
Cut the lights, quick! Look at this! It's getting close.
Wait, when I look past December 3rd, 1999, everything's messed up. What? I don't know what's there! What?
What are you gonna do about this? Oh my gosh.
Daddy,
What are you doing? Hold on. Don't you know why this is happening, right? You see, this pandemonium actually started because engineers often short dates the year's last two digits to avoid redundancies, and having a display of 00 for the year 2000 sought many to believe that the computers would interpret this as 1900. Thus, the millennium bug was discovered.
Well, I don't want to listen to these conspiracies or anti-science thoughts.
Yeah, stop attacking the truth. This threat is real.
Well,
already past midnight, so whatever world-ending catastrophe you're talking about, it ain't happening.